your horror movie podcast.
Welcome back, Hack Stab Slash. It's your boy Hacky, joined with
Just Justin. That's me. Let's go.
no,
Look at that.
no
I'm on
Waterboy
cue
right
today.
now. Waterboy's taking a sick day.
Yep, he called him
He
sick.
submitted a form and said, "Hey guys, I need you guys to carry this one for me." We said,
this.
"All right, we got this."
Show moves
We're
on.
doing ginger snaps.
Ah.
Have you ever seen this before, Justin?
Oh, I saw this the year it came. It's a werewolf movie. Have I ever seen this before? Like werewolf's my thing. I saw this. I'm so glad he picked this because I saw this like within the first year or two it came out, and I just remember how much I love this movie so much, and I'm just so excited to rewatch it because I have not seen this for holy shit like way too long, long time. How about you? Have you seen this? What do you got?
I have never ever seen Ginger Snaps Back, nothing.
Damn, yeah, I own all three of them.
Every time I meant to like sit down and watch this movie, this is one of those things where like I don't want to sound like an asshole, but I feel like there was a better option for me to watch, so I watched that.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Kind of this
gotcha.
looks good. Like I want to check it out, but then like Dawn of the Dead's on TV, and I'm like not gonna not watch that.
No, I got you. Well, you know what? We'll have to see how you feel after finally watching it to see if maybe this was a better option than some of them, or maybe it wasn't. Maybe you made the right decision. I guess we'll have to walk through this and try to find out.
You know who didn't make the right decision?
Who?
The fucking lady in the beginning of this movie, bro. I have never seen so many people just willingly leave their dogs outside all night long and have no fucking idea where their dog's at. Because not only did she leave this dog outside, but she then brought the kid outside to play, ignored the dog all morning, got fully dressed, started raking all the leaves in her backyard to then let her fucking, what was it? He couldn't have been any more than like a 2-year-old.
Yeah,
smear blood all over his face for her to find the dog paw in the fucking sand pit. And then to her walk around the corner and be like, "Oh, hey, Baxter. How you doing, buddy?
Rest in peace." What an opening scene, though. Like, I don't know. Like, that was wild seeing. Obviously, like you said, this maybe some flawed, like terrible dog owner. Probably a terrible dog owner.
Dude, this whole neighborhood is a terrible dog owner, but we'll get into it.
Yeah, we will definitely get into this. Holy crap.
We meet right off the rip, Bridget. And she looks like she's giving me like Ash from Evil Dead vibes.
Yep.
She's got an extension cord. It looks like a hedge trimmer or like a chainsaw. She got some gasoline. She looks like she's ready to do some work.
Dude, did you hear her first line? Like, she literally walks in as we see Ginger, too. We'll get into that. But she's just like, Baxter's fertilizer. Like, says it like almost like a Wednesday Addams like would say it or something. Like, so monotone. Like, the dog's dead. And she's like, Baxter's fertilizer.
Dude, the whole neighborhood feels this.
Yep.
Because right after this woman finds the dead dog, we get like a quick little opening credit. And then it comes back to her running outside with her kids. And she is scream crying to the point where like, you know, something's wrong.
Oh, yeah.
The whole neighborhood freezes for like a second, looks at her. Like there's a group of kids playing hockey.
Yeah.
They all look at her and she's like, "It got my dog." And they're like, whatever. Yeah, they go right back to playing hockey.
Yeah, game on. Like literally just stop playing street hockey. And same thing like Bridget's like, "Oh yeah, just fertilizer." And then we see who she's talking to, Ginger. And what the hell is Ginger doing in the first scene? We see her with like a butcher knife, like literally like almost like practicing cutting her wrist. And we have some insane death talk for like the next like 3 minutes.
She's like slitting wrist is for girls. I'm gonna slice my neck. You should hang yourself.
Yeah, and they're talking about like how their deaths would be epic. And I do think it's pretty awesome because like for the next like 4 minutes of the movie, like why we get like the opening, it's just all pictures. We see that they make like home movies and are obsessed with this and like gory effects and stuff. And you just get picture after picture. Like it's pretty cool. We see one with what Ginger's like through like a fence, impaled with a fence. I thought that one looks pretty cool. You see him like run over by cars, and you just basically get like a little slide of like they're obsessed with this. This is what they do.
I think my favorite one in this slide, when they pour the bleach into the teacups and they cheers and they drink it and then it shows them knocked out. I thought that was my favorite like little clip in that slide.
Super weird dark start to this movie. Definitely love it. And then you see him at school and you see how just like awkward they are. You see him like playing lacrosse, like all the girls are all nicely playing lacrosse and they're just kind of like awkwardly standing there as we get all like the pervy guys all excited and telling the girls to bounce for them.
Jump for daddy.
Yeah. Oh my God.
It's so like wild. Just the amount of shit these 3 kids are shouting at all these girls playing field hockey. And it's not even like they're provocatively dressed. Bro, they're
Right?
all in like heavy sweatshirts and stuff.
Yeah, that's what I got too. I'm like, it's not even like they're like running around. It's not like it's like 90 degrees and they're like not wearing much clothes. They're all
Yeah.
there just screaming at the girls in like full costumes. Oh
But
my God.
Bridget then says, I think she wants to describe how someone's gonna like be found dead. And she wants to talk about Trina. And she's like, she's gonna be found dead in the hair bleach aisle, like stuffed full of like just fake stuff, and just gives her like the
Yeah.
most outlandish, outrageous, like stereotypical, like middle-aged suburban housewife mom death.
Oh yeah.
And she overhears it and she gets pissed, dude. So she follows her around when they play field hockey. And bro, she cross-checks her into a dead dog in the middle of the field. How the fuck is no one seeing this dead dog? It's clearly been there all day.
Dude, I love that too. I had so on the rewatch, I had to pause it and rewind it because it took me a second. I'm like, wait, was it just a dead? Did she just get cross-checked to a dead dog? And like you said, she did. But they also give you a little back. They say, I think one of the guys says something like, "Oh,
Yeah, he's like,
the beast of Bailey Downs strikes again," and they say
does
that's
he
like
say it's the fourth one this week?
yes. So we get a little quick backstory. I like how they kind of like tell you that through like their dialogue that you get. That's the fourth dog this week. So something is terrorizing this friggin' town. But also Bridget's pissed now because she's all bloody and everything. And Ginger basically, you see their pretty tight bond. She goes up there and basically says like, "Don't you ever touch my sister again? Like I'll kill you." So I thought that was kind of cool.
It's a good way to show like this sister outside of like this, I think, unnecessary suicide back talk. This is a great way to show their sisterly bonding. Like they're gonna look
Yeah,
out for each other. They've got each other's backs.
definitely.
But then this leads into like them. I think she gets suspended or she gets reprimanded,
Hmm.
and we see them at the dinner table now, and it is the most awkward
Dude,
conversation. We see Ginger sitting at the dinner table and she's rubbing her back, and her mom's like, "What's the matter?" And she's like, "It's my back, mom. It's from being dead." And she's referring to like the fence post scene where she's laying on it, and she's like, "Oh, does it hurt right here? What about right here? Does it feel like there's inflammation? Could it be cramps?" And the mom is getting like super excited about
so
her daughter
pumped.
potentially getting her first menstrual cycle.
Yep.
And at this point in the movie, dude, I'm like, what the fuck am I watching?
Yeah, no, it's odd and very uncomfortable. I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, all right, this is a lot of girl puberty talk at dinner table here. I'm like, this is interesting.
I'm like, I have no idea. Like, how do I even write this shit up?
Right?
Thankfully, this dinner ends real fast, and the
Thank
girls
God.
come up with a plan where they want to kidnap Trina's dog and just stage, not kill it. They want to stage its death to like just send Trina into like an absolute uproar because this girl is completely unstable. She's in love with a drug dealer, and the only thing in her life is her dog. They find there's a mauled dog out back, and they like picking up pieces of it, and they
Oh,
decide to take one of its legs. Like this is absolutely disgusting.
dude, they're so calm about it too. They're like, oh, here we just use this. Here's a dead dog. They're not like freaked out. They're like, oh, this is really cool. And like you said, they like will grab a leg and it breaks off like you're picking like a turkey leg off to eat or something. It's disgusting.
And then the mom would be so proud of Ginger right now,
Oh
not
shit,
because
yeah,
she's like picking up dead dog parts, but because she actually gets her period, which means she's becoming a woman.
it's happening.
And then out of nowhere, dude, Ginger just gets mauled by this beast. And it is just like ripping her to shreds, and it's bringing her in the woods. And we see this really cool scene, dude, where Bridget is chasing after her. And one by one, every one of the sensor lights in the neighborhood's backyard goes off. So you can see where this beast is without seeing it, which I thought was
Yeah.
pretty cool and a very well like thought out shot.
Dude, this whole scene. So when they walked out there, just to like the playground and everything, like they're at like a little playground that it's just so eerie. I don't even know. I love it so much. It's such an incredible shot, especially like you said, like they're just talking and all of a sudden like, so much is happening. Like she gets the period and all of a sudden out of nowhere she is fucking viciously dragged. And that fight scene, attack scene is just insane because she is thrown through the woods. And you got Bridget, another badass sister, somehow sticking up for her and going out there like kicking this freaking thing off to the point where like she breaks her free for a second, but they like run across the street and out of nowhere you see the guy in his van driving by and he smashes the freaking werewolf. And you
Dude,
literally see
he
this
runs it over like he hit a fucking watermelon.
insane. This thing explodes. So like there's so much going on. Like this movie just went from 0 to 60 so fast. And then you see them at the house, like you see like the guy looking out, like, and this thing, like you said, it
Did you
exploded.
see its ear or whatever the fuck it was still moving?
Yeah, I was gonna say that
Like
the
it was
thing is
still
twitching,
alive?
like it looks so badass. But then you see them at home now, like Ginger and stuff, and like she just got mauled, attacked, and she's like, "Oh, Bridget's like, I'm gonna call 911 stuff and everything," and all of a sudden Ginger's like, "No, I'm okay," and like you see, like she's got scratch marks, bite marks, and they're like, she's like saying she's okay, and she's like already healing. Like, holy red flag,
Yeah,
like,
she's like, stop, save me the misery. Don't call the ambulance.
yeah.
Clearly, I'm not bleeding. This wasn't as bad as we thought it was. Like,
You
she's
just
playing it off like she just got scratched by a cat.
Yeah, you just get dragged through the thing by a werewolf, and she's like, "Yeah, I'm like fine and everything." Like, holy shit, like red flag. Something's not right here. Chill.
I still don't get how the fucking parents didn't wake up because they came into that house through like the front door, the garage door,
Yeah.
hot and bothered,
Oh
and
yeah.
like banging off the walls and screaming for their parents. And then their bedroom, if you like try to map out the house in your head, is clearly in the basement and then all the way through the other side because they're walking down like corridors that are unfinished and they're
Right.
surrounded by cement walls. So clearly they have to walk through this fucking house and not one of the parents wakes up. Are you kidding me?
Deep. I wish I could sleep that deep. Holy shit. And then you can see some things are definitely not right because you see next day they're at school now, and we see like Sam's van, and you see kind of like Bridget asking him like, what did you hit? And he kind of just like wise ass says like lycanthrope, and she's like, I do know what
Yeah.
that is. Like, do you normally see werewolves? And as that's happening, like there's people in the back of his van, and you see Ginger's back there, and she's getting high with like a few of the kids, which guys there, and you can tell that's not normal behavior too, because she always usually hangs out with her sister and does not
Yeah,
hang out with the guys.
she's straight edge. She doesn't fuck around with that
Exactly.
stuff.
So
She
also,
even
yeah,
says
it's
because
changing.
that Jason invites her to come smoke because like he sees her buying some feminine products and he's
Yeah,
like, oh, I got three sisters. The best way to take that edge off is to take that edge off. You know what I'm saying? And she's like, well, I like my edge.
yeah,
And then
and
long story short, they wind up in the back of Sam's van and they're fucking hotboxing this van. And Sam opens the doors and he gets pissed and kicks them all out. In the process of them getting out of the van, dude, Ginger steps out and she's immediately confronted by Trina's dog, who is going absolutely ape shit on
not,
Ginger.
not a
And
fan.
bro, she just fucking kicks the dog in the face and walks away.
Yeah, you can see like she's literally like something ain't right. She is like psycho. Like I said, she literally fucking kicks this thing. Everyone is just like dead silent, and then she just leaves. And then all of a sudden, you see like we flash to a bathroom in the school, and we see Bridget outside the stall and Ginger inside of the stall, and she's like freaking out. And Bridget opens the stall and goes in, and we
She
see
doesn't
Ginger.
open the stall and go. She
Yeah,
like fucking slams the door open with
yes,
authority.
yeah, kicks this fucking thing down, and she goes in there, and you see like Ginger kind of like pulls down her shirt to show like her shoulder and her scratch and everything, and out of the freaking claw marks, she's growing hair now. Like
Yeah.
there is hair, and
The
she's
only
freaking
person
out.
I've ever seen with more hair on their chest is Waterboy.
I was just say I feel like Waterboy looks like Austin Powers, and she's like, I can't get a sorry Waterboy. She's like, I can't get a hairy chest. Like that's fucked. Like and then do the nurse scene. Like we flash forward to her
Dude,
in the nurse scene. Oh my
dude.
god, so uncomfortable.
They go into the nurse and they're asking about like blood flow and the nurse goes into like straight detail about the menstrual system and what they were like what Ginger was bleeding on the floor and why there was so much and why it looks a certain way. Dude, I literally have in my notes she goes to see this nurse and I can't tell if I'm watching a horror movie or a fucking health class.
Yeah, very, very uncomfortable. Talking like literally about like just cramps and everything. And she basically says like, "Oh, what about like the pain and hair and on places that aren't normally?" She tells
Yeah,
it's all
referring
okay.
to her chest and stuff,
Yeah,
and then the nurse is like, "No, that's like called puberty. You're fine."
yeah. And she literally hands her condoms and oh, you got to protect against some stuff now, and like hands her condoms, and they are on their way.
And then we
Oh,
get a quick little scene of the mom, and I almost threw up in my fucking mouth because she pulls up this underwear and it is drenched. And like that's fine. If I ever have a daughter, that stuff will happen. I'm perfectly okay with it. But the fact that she got like happy made me almost sick to my stomach because it was like she was enjoying finding this. And I was like, no one
yeah,
should enjoy finding this. No one should ever enjoy having that happen, nonetheless.
yeah.
And It's to the point where this mom is so fucking happy that we're back to another dinner scene.
Fuck,
And
man.
she walks out with strawberry shortcake and she goes, "It's Ginger's favorite. She's becoming a woman." And
Oh,
Ginger looks at Bridget and goes, "Fuck you."
I know
Like,
when I
I
saw
can't
this, I'm
believe you
like,
told her. And
I'm
she
like, I
was like,
can't.
"I didn't tell anyone."
I was like, I don't want to talk about this shit at all tomorrow. I'm like, oh, when I watch this. But yeah, and like you said, like now that she's fucking, they're pissed because she thinks Bridget like told her, and she is. We see Ginger and Bridget, and they have a terrible fight. She just yells at Bridget, calls her jealous, and just basically just like
Yeah, you wish you
slams the
were
door.
me. You always
Yeah,
wish you
like
were me.
completely bitch. And you can it like actually it hurts because you can see Bridget, like you can see their bond, and you can see Bridget is just freaking absolutely just like crushed by it. But then you see literally Bridget now. You see her, she is like watching werewolf films, she is studying werewolves. We see her like taking notes and everything. And then we see the school next day. And tell me, did this scene tell me this is like the Jennifer's body moment.
I have that
You
written
had
in my
that?
notes.
I
I
did
was
too.
like, the sisters fighting and becoming more distant is shows you like her transition into becoming something that she's not. And I go, even like the fight over the bathroom, I go, Ginger is becoming the next hot girl at school, very much like Jennifer's body.
Oh
And now
yeah.
she's walking and she's just attacking everyone in the school with her sexuality. And even
Yes. Like
Jason, the creep, is all over it.
oh yeah, like you said, you see her just walking. She's dressed different now, and she is confidently just strutting down the halls. And you see every single person looking at her. You see the gym class where usually like she's awkwardly standing with Bridget. That's not happening anymore. Poor Bridget's like awkwardly like just sitting with her
She's
notebook
all
at
by herself, dude.
by
It sucks.
herself. It sucks. And we see like she is like flirting with boys, like wrestling with them and everything. And we see Bridget leaving now, and we see like Sam catches up with her, and he's like basically like I've been searching for you for like a week. Like he
Yeah, he's
dropped
like,
this.
hey, Toots, you got a light? And
Yeah,
then he's like, thanks. Can you give me a minute? I've been searching for you for like a fucking week.
yeah,
And it's over the picture she took, well, didn't take when they were running from whatever they were getting attacked by. And it appears to be a wolf. And he's like, yo, did I run this shit over? And he actually thinks it might be a lycanthrope.
yep. And he literally says like, "This is a werewolf. Like, what is it?" Like, we both saw it, and she like awkwardly like runs away from him.
She's in bed at home now, and she's completely scared of what Ginger's becoming. Like you can see her kind of get out and go peek, and she can see like her body just changing, and she puts the covers down, goes right back to bed. She's fully freaked out right now. Bridget then confides in Sam, and she's looking for some help. She needs some answers, and she spins it as if she's the one who's changing. So they're gonna try and come up with a cure that like anything to just help with this transformation stopping. He thinks that when he got an infection when he used to do piercings, he thinks that if you use pure silver, that might do the trick. Bridget goes to find Ginger now as she takes off with Jason, who just is an absolute piece of shit. I hate Jason so much.
Same,
But Bridget
same.
goes to find Ginger and she finds Ginger and Jason just making out heavily. And she's like, Ginger, we got to talk. And she's like, well, are you going to say sorry? She's like, for what? No. She's like, well, then fuck you then. And they take off and they leave. And then we see Mom and Bridget now talk about Ginger and she's becoming a woman and how things are going to change in this house because Ginger's going to be, head of the house. She's this, she's that. This mom is just aggressively excited about a fucking period, and it is driving me up a wall. We go back to Ginger, who fucks Jason up. Fucks Jason up, Justin. I said fucks Jason up.
I was gonna say, wait, what?
Bridget then wakes up to a crying Ginger who's home now, and she turns on the light and she sees this blood all over her hands. So she goes into the bathroom, and it looks like Ginger is just puking up massive amounts of blood, guts, and just chunks of meat. And it turns out, dude, it's the neighbor's dog, Norman. It's belly button piercing time. And Ginger's venting to Bridget about everything that's going on in her head and how she's just becoming a lay for Jason. This is post nut regret for Ginger right here.
Yeah,
she's regretting having slept with Jason because she's like, he's just gonna treat me like a lay, and he's gonna be the hero, and he's gonna brag about it to all his friends. And then the next morning, we see Goldberg is heading out before ice hockey with Coach Bombay. He sees that his dog has been filleted. Norman is just torn to shreds, and he screams and drops his dog food. I low-key love this kid in this movie. He's got like no lines, no dialogue.
I was just gonna say he's in like two
always
scenes.
in full hockey pads.
Love it. And this is a Canadian movie. Did you know that?
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, so this is a Canadian werewolf movie too. So I kind of do love that it's a movie in Canada, and they literally have they have the street hockey scenes and the kid in hockey plans. I'm like, let's go.
I love it. I love it. But we see Bridget is helping Ginger now hide her ever-growing tail. Can you hear that?
What the hell was that?
They're moving shit around upstairs.
Oh, I thought someone was like aggressively knocking at your door. I was like, whoa.
No. All right, so we see Bridget, and she is helping Ginger hide her ever-growing tail. And as predicted, Jason is bragging to his boys, and he looks all sorts of fucked up. They look at him, and they're like, bro, what happened to you? And he's like, Ginger rocked my world. And they're like, yeah, she did. And then they look down, and they're like, oh. And he's just like, oh. And he runs away because he's got a little blood splosh, like, on his pants. Why if they did this last night, why is he still wearing the same clothes? That's my biggest thing. He clearly took a shower and like washed his face and stuff. Why?
Maybe do you think he was put those pants on and he started bleeding again or something? Do you think it was like his own blood or something? You know what
That's
I mean?
What I'm
like
thinking. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think it was Ginger's.
Yeah.
So Sam also shows up, and they're at school now with some info for Bridget. And she basically tells him to like, fuck off. I'm at school. Like, get away from me. You can't be doing this here. And then it's field hockey time, and Trina pulls the same shit about bullying Bridget on the field. This time, instead of it being for Bridget describing her death, it's being for Bridget looking like she has a real relationship with Sam, and Sam is Trina's man. And she's not having any of this. So she cross-checks her to the ground again. And this time, Ginger ain't having none of it. Her fucking animal instincts kick in, and she runs up and she just starts wailing on fucking Trina. Just starts smashing her face in, bro. And I love this scene because as they pull off Ginger, she like low-key licks her hand with the blood on it, and you can see the fangs and shit and her smiling. And if you're in that group at that point in time and you're not paying attention directly to Ginger, you're not going to see any of this. But I was like, oh shit, dude, like she's teen wolfing right now. Like she's showing some signs.
Badass.
We get Jason in the bathroom now, and he is screaming like a little girl because he's peeing blood.
Yeah. Oh.
Then when he like comes out of the bathroom and he bumps into Ginger, he is covered like from the waist down, and he's like, I broke my red pen. The fuck you looking at? Get away from me.
My red pen, yep.
Bridget sees this and she instantly knows like what's going on. So she goes up and she's like, Ginger, you gave the virus to Jason by having unprotected sex with him. And Ginger's like, oh, oops, my bad. Don't really give a fuck.
Doesn't care.
She also brings Ginger along this time when they go see Sam in hopes of finding an answer because this belly button trick didn't work. Sam says he's been doing some research into a thing called monkshood. It's actually the cousin of wolfsbane, and it could be their inside track to finding a cure for this virus because wolfsbane is supposed to be deadly to werewolves, whereas monkshood is supposed to be kind of what's he say? It promotes white blood cell growth.
Yeah,
so white or
red or something. Hey, do you think that could cure my issues of like Lyme disease and stuff? Is that a real thing?
I think it could. I mean, it's worth a shot, right?
I'm gonna go find.
Is monkshood for real?
I don't know. I'm gonna look that up after.
All right. So Ginger and Sam start to argue, and she storms off. And Sam now reiterates to Bridget that he doesn't think of her in any kind of sexual way because when Ginger and Sam are fighting, she's like, she's 15, you fucking pervert.
Yeah, just so.
And he's just like, whoa. Well, like, if you knew what we were actually talking about, like, there is nothing
right
going on right now. Like, you need to chill your tits and go find someone else.
Chill your tits.
We see Ginger now. She's in the bathroom and she's shaving her legs. And this bathtub is full of hair and blood. And it was absolutely disgusting. And her mom walks in and Ginger loses her fucking mind. She's like, get out. She's like, oh, you don't have anything that I haven't seen before. Like, that's creepy. Your daughter is at the age where, like, you should not be seeing these things, regardless of what's going on.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, I'm fat. Just get out. So her mom leaves. And while Ginger's in this bathroom, she can hear Trina and Bridget arguing directly outside about her dog. And she's accusing Ginger of taking it. And then they start bitching about Sam and they start going back and forth. And this results into Ginger just coming out of nowhere and like form tackling her ass. And it's ding, 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 time for round two. And this goes real fast from like a friendly squabble to inside with her, like she's got Bridget in like a chokehold, and she's got Trina in like a
Trina.
chokehold, and she's covering her mouth, and Trina's so panicked right now and disturbed that she actually starts puking. And when she does this, Ginger lets her go. And in the process, dude, Trina grabs a kitchen knife because she ain't playing no fucking games. She's ready to rumble. And in
Yep.
doing so, she slips on like vomit. It looks like milk, and I'm pretty sure porridge from like
They'll
and
get you.
in the process of slipping, dude, she smashes the back of her head off the kitchen island. And this kills her. Like she is down for the count. And right when this happens, the mom and dad get home. And the girl is quick fucking thinking, dude. They move the body somewhere. And we see Ginger is laying down, smothered in her blood on the ground. And quickly, Bridget runs up and snaps a picture as the parents walk in. And the mom thinks the scene is real. And she's like, oh my God, like, oh, you gave me a heart attack. I told you
Yep.
no more death scenes in the house. And Ginger sits up and she's like, hi, daddy. Don't worry, it's for extra credit. Like she gets real fucking
Yeah.
sweet about it. She even licks the blood off her fingers.
Yeah,
She's like, corn syrup, daddy.
Corn
Do you
syrup.
want to taste?
Yeah, you want some?
Yeah, this is like very Billy Loomis.
Oh,
And you can see how disturbed Bridget is right behind her, and she's almost looking her dad in the eyes, going, don't do it. Don't try it. Please don't. It's not corn syrup. And then the mom, I love how unraveled but like together this family is, if you will. I don't know if that makes sense, because the mom goes, I gotta go put this meat in the freezer before it spoils. And as she's walking to the freezer, Bridget chases her down and she's like, no, I'll do that. And she opens the freezer lid, and it turns out this is where they hid Trina's body. And quick thinking again by Bridget, she goes, Mom, what do boys want? And the mom literally doesn't look in the freezer. She just like looks off into space and she smiles, throws the meat in the freezer, and shuts the door. And she's like, it's my time to bond with my girls, because I don't have any connections to my two daughters besides, womanhood and what boys want. And then we get a very awkward fucking talk about the birds and the bees. And you can tell both girls want nothing to do with it, but the mom is like totally there for it. And she's like, I love this so much. I'm so glad you guys asked me this question, because boys only want two things. They want sex and unprotected sex. And you need to make sure you're protected at all times. I was so glad we didn't get a full drawn out conversation, because seriously. I was like, I almost fast forwarded through this like little clip.
Yeah, but like we had enough already.
The girls now go back, and it's time to move Trina's body. And I think it was Bridget that goes, get me a screwdriver.
Yep.
Because she's got to chisel out Trina's body from this deep freeze that's been in there all of 30 seconds in this movie. But it's deep frozen, like it's been in there for a fucking month. And in the process of chiseling it out, dude, they lose two fingers.
Hate when that happens. That happens.
They do end up getting Trina's body out, and they bring it out back, and they're going to dig a hole in the shed. All right, so this shed clearly doesn't have a floor. So they bring the body into the shed, and in the process, they lose the two fingers. And then after they bury the body, they're trying to come up with a game plan to keep Ginger at home while letting the mom think that she's in school, and then letting the school think that she's at home while they figure this shit out. They need to figure out what's going on with Trina. They need to figure out what's going on with this whole wolf thing. It's just an absolute mess right now. Bridget is like, please, someone just give me at least a fucking hour of pure sanity so I can sit down and think. Well, Bridget's back at school, and she's in the middle of forging a sick note before she gets jumped like into a janitor's closet by Jason, who is like halfway wolfing out and losing his fucking mind. And he looks like straight shit. And he goes, I'm growing a fucking tail. He's like, where's your sister? I've got some questions. Do you know what I did for fun this morning, Justin? I killed my fucking dog.
Fucking ate my dog.
There is so much dog killing in this movie.
Yeah.
Like, what's the body count in this movie? Like, for real? Like, what, 2?
2. And
what's,
like, how many
the
dogs?
doggy count? 50?
God, a lot of dogs.
Oh, my God. He's losing his mind. And if you ask me, he looks like he's just going through puberty, because he's sweating. He doesn't know what's going on. He's covered in like rashes, and he's just covered in straight pimples. Like he took a piece of just greasy pizza and rubbed it on his face and then went to sleep. Like he looks disgusting.
So gross.
We're back at a family dinner now, and mom already knows Ginger skipped school, and she's fucking pissed.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't come off that way, but she's pissed. You can tell. And in the process of like mom pulling Bridget to the side and questioning her about Ginger and what's going on, she sees Monk's hood actually off into the corner. And she's like, Mom, where'd you get that? She's like, Oh, I got it at a craft store. She like steals it and she goes to run away. And Bridget just plays along to like get her mom to like fuck off. She's like, yeah, whatever you say, Mom. I'm just gonna agree. I'm so glad we talk about boys. I can't wait to have a period myself. Like this is so girl time.
Yep.
Like Bridget just fucking wants to get away from her mom, and her mom is being cringy as shit. Ginger now gets up and she's in the bathroom, and Bridget does this thing where she lays down like a 2x4 and she locks her into the bathroom and she says it's for your own protection because you really can't be out in public. Like you're getting out of control. Bridget goes up to Sam now with some of the monk's hood. She doesn't want her mom to get suspicious, so she only takes like 2 of them. And they grind it up and they cook it up like they're in some kind of meth shop. And they make just 1 dose, which is not smart because if this shit works, you're gonna want multiple doses just in case. But he only makes 1 dose. And he looks at her and he goes, Just know this might kill her. And Bridget is like, What? You mean me? And she's like, No, I know this is for Ginger. I'm not fucking stupid.
He's not dumb.
So he's like, Just know this is either going to kill her and you're going to put her out of her misery, or this is going to cure her and we can just go back to being normal. He's like, There's no way to tell between the weight, if she's allergic to it, what the reaction time is for this. Like, there's no scientific thing at all. And then we see Bridget, she's making her way back home now with this potential cure. And she bumps into Jason, who's attacking a little fucking kid. And what is he dressed up as, Justin? He's in a dog costume.
Yes. And oh man.
I think it's comical because these werewolves are only attacking dogs right now. And this dude is straight up getting ready to maul a kid because he's dressed like a dog. So Jason's in the middle of attacking this little kid. And Bridget jumps right in and she breaks this up and she starts having this tussle with Jason, who's like, Come to daddy. I got a treat. He gets real fucking creepy about it. And then when she's on her back and it looks like Jason's got the upper hand, dude, she straight up stabs this shit into his neck and fully injects him, dropping him into the ground for Justin to tell us if this worked or not.
And it does work. And holy awkward. He like literally just gets up. Doesn't even pull a thing. He's got a fucking dart in your neck, man. You got a friggin' dart in your neck. The dude just stands up.
I got a class to go to.
Yeah, it's like literally that's his line. He's like, oh, he's like looking around all awkwardly. He's like, yeah, I gotta go. I got like a class to go to. And he walked off. So let's go. First of all, that's freaking awesome. It works. But then we are now when we go to school. And we see Ginger, of course, she broke out of that everything. And she was in the school. And Mr. Wayne calls her into the office right away.
Mr. Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, and that did not go good for him because Ginger kills and absolutely shreds him. And as Bridget gets to the school too, she's running in there like, holy crap, like, where's Ginger? And Ginger pulls her in there and they're like, all right, well, we need to clean this up somehow because there is blood on the walls. This poor dude got absolutely shredded.
All for doing his job, bro. She like Bridget looks at her and she's like, what happened?
Yeah.
And she goes, well, he wanted to talk to mom.
Yeah, terrible. Like the guy did nothing. And then we do have a quick flash scene to the parents now where they find the 2 fingers outside and they're completely freaked out. But they're like, oh, well, it's probably just like a death project. It's just one
talk about being completely oblivious. The dad is freaked out and the mom's like, they're fake, silly.
Yeah, they're fake, like holding them up and everything. So now we're back at the school. And once again, for the love of God, Ginger just chill. Like we see Bridget say, all right, stay here. Don't do anything crazy. I am going to go find something to clean this. So she walks out to go try to find something to clean this. And who do we see? We see a poor janitor dude just doing his job, just walking in there and stuff. And of course, what ends up happening? He ends up walking in on Ginger. And we see Bridget walking back now. She goes and finds like a mop and all the stuff. So as we see her walking back, we see Ginger just ragdolling this dude. This poor old Ginger, poor old janitor. She is throwing him back and forth between lockers. She smashes his face through the glass of like a fire alarm thing.
She's like, I didn't like the way he looked at you. Ginger is fucking this janitor up. And I feel so bad for this janitor because it seems like he's just a nice guy.
Dude, same. Like
what the hell? Earlier in the movie when Bridget falls into the dead dog, and he's like offering her like a clean towel to like help clean herself up with. And Ginger's just like, he's looking down your fucking shirt. Bro, she's in a t-shirt and a hoodie. Like,
dude, she's so
15, like she's 15, bro. Like he's literally just looks like he's being a nice guy.
Dude, she's so mean. And like Bridget's like, will you stop doing this? And we see the guys like kind of like still half alive, even just being his face smashed and stuff. And she's like,
Dude,
stop, like,
dude, oh
please
my God.
stop.
I got an
Go
inner
ahead.
movie connection for you right now between janitors.
Okay, what
This
do you
janitor is directly related to the janitor from Night of the Creeps, and this janitor is currently getting attacked by the banshee that
Yep.
the other janitor thought he saw and
But
was
oh,
screaming like banshees.
oh my God, you're right. That is so funny. That had been influenced by that. And we see like, please stop. And does she stop? No, she like guts him, like just friggin' like completely, just absolutely kills him. And she stands up and she's like, it feels so effing good. Like, you know what it feels like? It feels like touching yourself. Like, you know, every single move. She's like, I can't stop. And she's like looking like she's gonna attack Bridget. She's like, you know, we're almost not even related anymore. And gets like right up on her, like she's gonna attack her and everything. And she ends up like kicking Bridget. She's like, stay out of the way. And she's like, I'll tell Sam you said hi. And she walks off and she's gone. And like, holy shit, you see like Ginger is just friggin' gone right now. She cannot be anywhere. And meanwhile, we see a flash scene to the back to home. We see the mom digging in the yard. We see that you see her face like she finds something, and we see her jump in the car and she leaves. Meanwhile, Bridget's like running down the street, and we
Bro,
see
how is the mom okay with this?
yeah, dude. So she picks up Bridget, and we see like she hands her the fingers, and we have a quick scene now. We flash real fast to the party. There's a giant party going on, Halloween party. It's Halloween time. It's all good. We see Ginger there. She is just walking past everyone. She goes right into Sam's room, and you see
Dude,
like,
this is like her entrance into this. The makeup
yeah,
effects on her face are so well done, bro.
dude, it's
So
she
well
looks
done.
so badass, something out of like Buffy the Vampire Slayer or something. And you see her, she just like walks crazy through there. It's a Halloween party, so it like fits in perfect, like she's just dressed up. And you can see Sam wants like nothing to do with her, and she starts coming on to her. And then we see the mom pulls up with Bridget, and like you said, like how the hell is the mom okay with this? She starts telling her like, all right, go get your sister, but like tomorrow, like we're gonna have a fresh start. It's a girl
Yeah.
start. She's like, we'll leave the gas out, we'll blow up the house.
And
Like,
then
no,
she goes, "What about dad?" And the mom
yeah,
just goes, "Your dad would probably just blame it on me anyway, so we'll just leave." I don't know if she's gonna leave the dad in the house.
yeah. I was gonna say it was very like you couldn't really tell what she meant. Like, wait, is
Yeah,
the dad gonna get blown up in the house too? But she's like, what are you insinuating?
yeah.
But
Or are
she's
you just
straight up
gonna
like,
leave him behind after you get like the settlement money, or are you gonna blow it up and like leave town and just not tell the dad anything?
it's
You're
funny too,
gonna
because I thought the
stage the
same.
dead bodies in there? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, she was like literally like, let's just go, girls. Like it is girl times. So go get your sister. Now we see Bridget like she runs in there and everything. She goes past everyone. She finds them and everything, and she starts yelling at like Ginger, like, "What the hell are you doing?" And Sam is just like, "Holy shit! Like this has got to stop." And you see like Ginger is like just she keeps turning like faster and faster. And we see her like they're talking about like the pact and everything, and we see Bridget like cuts her friggin' hand and grabs Ginger hands, and like they like combine their hands, and
Yeah, you
she's
can
like,
tell because they do have previous scars right there. You can tell they've done this quite a few times to consider
yeah,
themselves blood sisters. And
right.
now they're doing like a blood transfusion. And dude, Sam is just mortified.
Dude, Sam is horrified as this is happening. He's like, no, screaming, no, like, what are you doing? And like, she literally says, like, I am you now. So crazy stuff. And now at this point, we flash forward, we see like the mom kind of like getting impatient. She walks out and goes, and now we see Bridget is kind of like walking with Ginger, like carrying her out there. And right when they get outside, we see Sam jumps in with a shovel, knocks Ginger the fuck out. Like, let's
And
go.
Bridget's like, you
And then
fucking moron.
yeah, poor Sam, dude. The Sam's trying to help all this stuff, and he's like, "What?" And she's like, "The cure works. Like, I'm trying to get her home and cure you, friggin' idiot. Well, now help me. Like, get her in the back." So they throw her in
Yeah,
the
he's
back.
like, she's not riding in the front.
Yeah, not right in the front, cause so she throws him in the back of the freaking van, and Bridget and her are driving. They like just leave the mom there, and she's like, "All right, well, here's the plan. We're gonna go home. We'll cure her, and you just freaking run." And in the back now, I mean, Ginger is convulsing. Like she is friggin' transforming so fast. Like this shit is getting happen. So that getting out of control real fast. They get home. They pull into the garage, and Ginger. They go to back together, and they're like, "Wait, we can't even see. Is she in there? Like, what's happening?" Ginger is full werewolf right now. She smashes through the friggin' van, and she is gone, just through the house, completely gone.
Yeah, you can
And
hear her just like fucking around in the house, like
yeah,
the heavy breathing. Sam also is like just banged up. He looks like he's down and out. So it's up to Bridget now. And They're like, we don't want to go in the house, but we have to.
Yeah, it is like pretty creepy at this point. Like there's definitely some cool suspense right here. And they go in there and like I said, you have no clue where she is. And they start making the cure. They get the syringe and everything, and they're mixing the cure when Sam is dragged out and attacked viciously. I mean, he is just absolutely grabbed and this
When he gets dragged out though, they're in like the smallest fucking pantry closet.
yeah.
I'm sorry, Justin. I don't care how scared you are. I'm not going into a closet if I'm ready to battle with a wolf because then I'm going to be too fucking scared to come out of the closet
Dude,
because I feel like as you open the door, it's just going to grab you and be waiting for you. And that's exactly what happens. It just
terrifying.
fucking,
Like I
go
said,
ahead.
she is
Tell us how fucked up Sam gets.
dude, Sam, oh my God. These screaming and messed up stuff. And then, like you said, like now Bridget, like she comes out of the closet. That sounds weird to say. Well, Bridget, as Bridget gets out of the closet, like, dude, there's a lot of blood. There is stuff everywhere. And there is just blood marks absolutely everywhere. Bridget is like shaking. She's so scared. She grabs the syringe and she starts walking downstairs. And you can see, like, it's not going too good with Bridget right now either because
Yeah.
she almost
Bridget's a
passes out.
star though, bro, because Bridget's just walking through this house on the red carpet.
Yes. And she is getting dizzy, and you can tell it's not going too good with her. She like drops the syringe down there, but so she walks down there. So scary because she's going down and like to the basement, and we get down there and we see like Sam is like alive somehow still, and he's like
Barely,
barely alive.
barely alive.
He is holding on, and down the hall we see it full werewolf. Ginger is just a complete friggin' werewolf. She walks over there, and as we see like Ginger walking up to like finish Sam off, we see Bridget just like grabbing piles of blood and like, oh god, she's like eating the blood and stuff. My god, I'm gonna
She's
get
trying
sick.
to force it down.
Yeah, she's
Right
like
here,
just
I was
forcing it down.
praying to God that she found the syringe and it was like up her sleeve. And she was like doing this to get Ginger to like kind of do it with her when she starts doing. So while she's distracted, I was expecting her to like slide out the syringe and stab
Yeah,
her. But
but no, she didn't have it. Like I said, she's just just so disgusting trying to get that down. And then we see like the friggin' Ginger, yeah, crushes Sam. Sam is just gone, and now Bridget is like running for her life, like and Wolf just attacks her Ginger the Wolf, and she ends up grabbing the syringe. She is like hiding now, like under stairs, like through like, and she escapes through a wall. She like smashes through the wall, runs in there. We see her grab a knife, and Ginger follows her in there too as the wolf, and she's trying to talk. She's like, please, like she's trying to reason with her, but Ginger Wolf just jumps and pounces right on Bridget, and it kind of just stops. And we see that she had the giant butcher knife with her and pretty much stabbed her in the belly. And the
now,
Ginger falls off. What
did
do you
you
got?
get Bridget kills Ginger, or do you think Ginger killed herself? Because there's a lot of suicide talk in this movie about Ginger wanting to go out a certain way.
Right,
And it doesn't look, it looks like Bridget has this knife for defense and she's holding it and she makes like no like jabbing motion or nothing.
right,
It kind of looks like when Ginger pounced on her, like she jumped directly on the knife.
right. Yeah, because it's not like she didn't try to stab her on purpose. Like you literally see, like she was just holding the knife and
Like
she got
it kind
stabbed.
of felt like Ginger, that was like the small sliver of Ginger that was left.
Like she could
And
have
was
known.
like trying to kill herself so the
Yeah,
beast didn't fully take over and kill her sister.
yeah. And then it's so sad. We see Bridget there. She's just laying there. She is crying, and we get some really cool scenes of she's just like looking at the wall and just seeing all the pictures of the two sis of them together. And then we see her. She goes and lays next to her. As Ginger is the dead wolf. The end. Ginger snaps over. Let's go. Let's talk about it.
All right, dude. So my final thoughts are very mixed on this movie.
Okay.
I've got for a highly followed and talked about werewolf movie. This one had some very, very gnarly kills. I absolutely love the slow transformation of Ginger. I think the form she's in right before her final transformation at the greenhouse party was fucking amazing. Much like Silver Bullet, when we see the backwards regression from like beast into man when they kill the pastor, that like in between half human, half werewolf, bro. These two movies knock it out of the park with that like mid transformation scene. Oh my god, dude, I can't say
Yep.
enough good things about it, dude. Emily Perkins as Bridget, you touched on it very early in the movie. I've got Emily Perkins as Bridget, gave me very Wednesday Adam vibes, and I fucking loved it. Catherine Isabella as Ginger, 100% carries this fucking movie with her bad girl, don't give a fuck attitude. That being said, I wasn't fully in love with this movie as much as it currently sounds like I am because, dude, I was blown away at the fact that this is a 90% on Rotten Tomatoes. I would think I would have enjoyed this a little bit more if we didn't get the
Wow. Okay.
whole suicidal pact right off the jump. You know what I mean? I would enjoy the sisters bonding to the point where like I can't live without you instead of the constant like, 16 or dead.
Yep.
Like right off the rip. I didn't need it right in my face right away. Um and then dude, the whole Ginger's menstrual cycle just being like stuffed down my throat for what felt like the entire movie. Did we really need it like that so blatantly? Like, dude, I got it. We only needed like one or two lines throughout this movie of it, or maybe a scene, like the mid scene. I didn't need it from start to finish.
Okay.
That shit really just bugged me. Um, dude, with that being said, though, I am giving this a 6.1. And the only reason why it's not higher is because of the whole suicide and the menstrual thing. I get it's part of the storyline, but just give me a little bit less of it because every time those parts came into the movie and they were so heavily injected into the movie, it took me out of the movie because I didn't find myself gravitating towards that part of the storyline and wanting to be interested in it. So every time that came on, it checked me out and it took me a little bit to get back into it. I don't know if that makes sense.
No, I do. We're like complete opposite of this movie, which is fucking
But
wild.
no, but if that's not in the movie and this is more like the sisters being goth weirdos and bonding through that and having to battle
Yeah.
bullies in high schools and shit and everything else remains the same, bro, this movie fucking slaps. This is clearly
Yeah.
an 8. But just those two things, dude, just kept taking me out of it.
No shit. All right. All right. Um, So I guess I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that this is a good werewolf movie. I'm gonna sit here and tell you it's a fucking great werewolf movie. This is my fourth favorite werewolf movie in the history of the world, and I love werewolves so much. The only werewolf movies I would ever put even on a list that I like more of this is American Werewolf in London, Dog Soldiers, and The Howling. This is my fourth favorite werewolf movie, and the acting is absolutely incredible. Both of these girls knock it out of the park. And this is the weirdest fuck story. I mean, this is dark, fucking creepy. This is a coming to age story for like of sisterhood and like girls' puberty, which some of that was definitely very uncomfortable. It's like not my favorite thing ever, and how they're like obsessed with death is weird as fuck. But dude, this movie sucked me in so much. I loved the feel. It was so dark and unnerving. I give this a 9 out of 10, and I rarely ever give nines. Like I don't
Very,
know.
very rarely.
Really, I never get a 9. That's why I'm shocked that like Sean gave it like a 6.1. I don't like if I love a movie, I use him like 8.5. Like, dude, I give this a 9. I just even though like the whole like coming to age of girl thing, like especially it's just and the suicide stuff is weird as shit. But it's some people are dark, weird, goth weirdos that love that shit. And I thought the story was so strong here, and like the acting was so good. I just loved this atmosphere so much, and I was just so enthralled in this movie. Absolutely love it. 9 out of 10.
Don't get me wrong. I would like to watch this movie again. Like I said, dude, it's just something about just those two factors in the storyline.
Yeah.
I just think there was too much of it. If there was a little less and there was more character building other ways, like I said, dude, bro,
Yeah.
this is a high 8 for me.
Yeah.
But just
It's
those two things just kept taking me out.
It's definitely
And
a
my
dark
head
weird
was like,
story.
get back into it. But I was like, I don't want to see this.
Oh, there's parts like even like the Scott, like there was some parts that I was very uncomfortable with, and I just still couldn't like I love the movie so much, and like I said, these two girls, actresses, like they so good. I love this friggin' movie so much.
Dude, like I said, dude, Emily Perkins and Catherine Isabella. I'm so fucking happy that they didn't cast anyone else for these roles because these two
Yeah.
girls fucking crush it.
Dude, this
Like
movie
they
had,
are amazing.
you know, there's two sequels too, and
Yes.
I have not seen the third one. I've seen the second one, and dude, holy shit! I just want like for dude, the second one is the same thing. I watched them when that first came out, but it is such a dark movie too. It focuses more on Bridget, and dude, it is so dark, and it's a I don't know, man. Love these two characters.
I listened to a podcast about this movie yesterday while I was walking my route to try and like give me a little more information on it.
Yeah,
And they described the second one because they talked about the trilogy.
Yeah.
They described the second one as the sequel nobody asked for,
Mhm.
but it's the sequel that we need. So
Dude,
I'm looking forward to watching it.
it's really good. I'm talking like it is one of the most solid sequels ever.
Hell
It's
yeah!
that good. Like it's so good. But you
All
got
right,
any fun
Justin,
facts on
I
any of
know
those? What
you
do you got?
have some fun facts.
There's
I know you
yeah,
do.
yeah, there's I mean, so one of my favorite one is just the werewolf. He did not want to have CGI. It's all prosthetics and makeup. I thought that
Dude,
was
and it's
really, really
so good looking. It
I
is
thought it was
so
so good.
good looking.
Dude, one of my favorite ones of this is the person who pages. You hear someone page people over the loudspeaker at the school. Did you see that? The
Yeah.
person who paged is Lucy Lawless,
Oh yeah.
and like she's uncredited voice. And the two people she paged was Sam and Ted Raimi. Like, are you kidding me? You hear her saying like Samuel Raimi. Like, I
Yeah,
thought that was
come to the office for questioning.
yeah, I thought that was so badass. What do we got here? Dude, the similarities between these two actresses, did you see all the weird shit between them? Like, to the point, like, these two people were born in the same hospital in real life, went to the same preschool, went to the same elementary school, the same private school. Dude, they auditioned for this role the same day, and they are both members of the same talent agency. How does that happen?
Was that like completely not
That's
planned?
just
Like
not planned. That is not planned. And like Bridget is like the younger sister, even though she's the younger sister and she's like older
she's
in real
older in
life.
real life.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say I know she's I don't know the age. I think she's like 5 years older or something like that. So that's wild that they're from the same this. And it continues like, dude, they are both in the X-Files season 5, but in different episodes. Like, I don't even understand. Like the connection between these two is so freaking wild. That's all. There's so much different stuff, but that's all I wrote down. That's all I wanted to touch on. You got any or
To be honest, I don't.
yeah. I
I
know.
because I was doing I watched this movie twice last night.
Yeah.
I watched like the original watch and then I gave my like review and then I watched it again for the notes.
Yeah.
And having not started this until like 9:30 last night because I was scrubbing fucking bounce houses and shit all night long.
Yeah, I got you.
At the second I got to the end of the second watch, I was like
No, I hear you.
knocked right the fuck out. And I was like, I know Justin's gonna have fun facts.
Oh
So
yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna let him carry it away.
No, I got you. No, that's trying to think if I got any more off the top of my head, but yeah, no, that's what I got. I'm still can't believe we're that far. I didn't expect us to be that far off on rating. That's fucking wild.
Like I don't think we're that far off on the movie as a whole, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
said, just those two elements really kept taking me out, and I think that's why my score is lower. But like I did say, dude, if those two elements weren't so heavily implied for me, I know they're essential to the storyline and like all that stuff for this particular movie. But if they weren't there for me, this movie as a whole, with the effects, the acting, the kills, everything, it's a high 8.
I wonder also, like I saw this movie when it first came out. Like I wonder if that had if like if you watched this when you like I saw the God, this movie came out a million years ago. I wonder if
Do you
that's like
do you think you would
a
have felt
reason.
the same way I did
Well, that's what
after
I'm
you
trying to
first watched it?
so that's what I'm just wondering because right now this movie came out literally when I was like graduated, like I think it was like 2001. I already fucking so I mean I literally watched this as like a high schooler, like so the all these people were like the same age as me watching it. You know what I mean? So like I
Yeah.
literally watched this whatever year it came out. I probably watched it like the year later. So I saw this that first year. Like if I waited 20 more years and just watched this for the first time, I think that I don't know if like that would have been different and all, but so I've already seen this, like I said, like when I was like 19 or something. So I already watched this as like a 19-year-old loving this shit. So I already had like nostalgia involved in this. Like I already like loved it, watched it at that age group. I don't know if like I watched it my first time. I don't know if that does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like if
Yeah.
I watched that as a first time
Because
now,
like
I
I said, dude,
wonder.
like this is probably the first Waterboy movie outside of Event Horizon, which I love, you absolutely hate,
Yeah.
that I had a lot of gripes with,
Hmm.
but I want to rewatch again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think
Right.
that's maybe you felt the way I felt way back then, because this is a movie that like it ropes you in. I do want to see this again, but right now those two elements just took me out of it.
Right. And that's what I was just wondering, like watching this, seeing how I literally
Yeah.
watched this when I was so young and just like loved it. It had that same like watched it right then when I was like the same age of all these characters and that same shit.
Yeah.
Now rewatching it at a different.
Watch now. I'm gonna rewatch this like next Halloween season or next time we start really getting into werewolves, and this is gonna be a
Seriously.
lot easier to digest. And I'm
Right.
gonna be like, "Yo, Justin, you were right. This movie's an 8.5."
Yeah, because dude, I do remember. So I actually I feel like I watched this and I do kind of remember watching it and being like, kind of like the first like 30 minutes being like, what the fuck am I watching? Like I do remember being like, this is weird as shit at first, and then like falling in love with it, but also being like, what the hell is wrong with these two sisters?
Right.
But yeah, we definitely need to revisit this, and maybe even we should probably do like the sequel eventually, maybe another Werewolf Month. I wouldn't be against it. You probably wouldn't be against it either. I love
I
werewolves.
mean, I think November we did what? No, we did September is Werewolf Month.
Yeah, we did last September, but we should probably do another one next November. We should probably focus on maybe some new ones, catch us up a little bit. But we should probably tell these. Sorry, the turbo shot's kicking in. We should probably kick it off and tell these people to check us out next
See you
week.
later. All right,
Peace.
dude. If you're still with us, dude, smash that like button and hit that like, subscribe, follow, share, the whole 9 yards. I'm Hacky, this dude up
Do
here.
it. Just Justin. Have the best day ever.
Later.
Peace. Woo.